preparing the live stream. Won't be a second. So, can you hear me, Dave?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Good. It'll probably be a bit delayed, obviously, because what's going out on Facebook, so it will be a bit delayed.
Yeah.
So, can you still hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So yeah, it'd be a bit delayed. So I've had to mute the Facebook side, or else we'll end up with a double echo. It'd be a bit weird otherwise. So because I can hear what's going on because it's live on Facebook. So I'm glad we got it set up and we eventually got there in the end. It was getting rather stressful. I thought the last hair on my head was going to be going. So yeah, but we got there in the end with a bit of swear words and Facebook.
Grit and determination.
Platform is, sorry?
Grit and determination.
Yes, yeah. Facebook with its lovely platform and easy to use and all that sort of Java and yeah. So obviously we got you on for a live interview because obviously we wanted to talk to you a bit about your background, you know, where you've come from. We know you're in Essex, but we don't mean that. But you know, where you sort of came from. Obviously you did detailing, but what you did before that as well, and you know where you got into detailing. Then obviously you got into the leather side of it and you've now got out with the detailing, you do leather, you know, and so on and so forth. So obviously, so everybody knows, tell us who you are. Well, I mean, we've obviously said you're Dave Wellman, but tell us who you are, where you're from, Dave, and what you do.
Right. So, so I'm Dave Wellman and I'm based down in Chelmsford, Essex, and I run a small business called Supreme Leather Restorations. I've been doing that since end of 2020 when obviously I attended to see yourself and be trained. Prior to that, I was doing car detailing and that was for about 9 years. And then before that I was an electrical engineer.
Oh, okay.
Basically.
Interesting.
So complete
obviously
change
with the
in trades.
Big change in trade, yeah, definitely. So I mean, 9 years for doing the detailing, it's quite a long time as well, and quite a big change as well. So how long have you been doing the electrical engineering work?
So I did that. I started doing that. Oh God, must have been around about 1993. Yeah, 1993.
Yeah.
And I sort of like dealt with telecommunications networking, setting up computer systems and linking, obviously back then, all the faxes and networking all the printers and the faxes and digital sort of like reprographics machines all on the system in sort of like in big buildings in London and stuff like that.
Yeah, quite an intricate thing then, really.
Yeah.
And quite a different trade going from that to detailing, and then obviously detailing to leather isn't so much of a different trade, but it's still quite different. You're still dealing with obviously with a lot of vehicles and things like that. So, but obviously going from the electrical engineering through to that is quite a big change, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, complete change in trades.
Yeah. So obviously, what made you start the detailing work?
It was just so the long and short of it was we bought a car like brand new and it had a massive scratch down the back quarter. So when we picked it up, the weather was really bad and the car had got wet and we couldn't see the scratch. It was only a few days later when we saw it, and then I was like, all right, it's going to have to go back, be resprayed and all this. And someone basically told me, said, no, go on a couple of forums and they'll tell you all about how to deal with scratches and stuff like that. And you won't need to you might not need to get it resprayed. So I went on there and watched some videos and read some posts and that, and I thought, oh, you know what, I reckon I can sort this out. So I went out and bought a polishing machine and some pads and some compounds, had a go and got rid of this scratch. So I was like, oh, this is quite an achievement. And read some more forums, posts, and started buying all sorts of different bits and bobs, and then started practicing and doing it all. And I was getting quite good at it. And I got to a point where I had all my friends and neighbours were like, oh, if you want to have a practice, you can use my car. And I had cars parked up down the street. And my wife was like, look, you either you can just really start upsetting people now. So you either go and do it or, knock it on the head. So I was like, right. So I went and bought a little van, created a website, off I went, started trading, and it just took off. And I was the only one in the area. There wasn't that many valeters around when I started doing it. So I had a good pick of the market. And I did really well from it, to be honest with you. I was actually doing quite well. And then we started coming into the last few years I was doing it. There was a lot of people, that were losing jobs and looking for different trades, and they were going to Halfords and buying buckets and sponges and cheap stuff out of Halfords, going out cleaning cars and doing it a third, quarter the price that I was charging. Obviously, difference being I had been on a master detailer's course. I was sort of like sponsored by a couple of brands. I was insured. I'd done it all properly. But people then looking at you want to charge me £70 to clean my car, and he wants to charge me 25. Well, I'll go with the 25. Okay. And exactly. It was only really those that knew the difference that were obviously quite willing to pay.
Definitely.
And I was doing little bits on leather on cars, cleaning them, and like touching in the grey or the black car seats, was grey as we call it. Using other brands, and then I had a client that had a Mercedes SL 300, a very old classic one. I spent the whole month detailing it, putting new badges on it, changing panels and bits of trim, but the leather was absolutely destroyed, and he wanted it sorted out and made good, which is one of the reasons why I started looking for courses, and obviously ended up getting trained by yourselves. When I come back from that, there was the plan of I'll just add it to my list of services on my detailing website. However, I then start thinking, well, if someone wants their handbag done or something done on their leather sofa, I'm going to pop up as a car detailer, and then they go, oh, well, he won't do my sofa, and I might be missing a trick. So I had another website, or I created another website to run alongside the cars. And when I released that, I started getting lots of inquiries, and I couldn't cope with both. And obviously, what I was charging to do a car bolster is more than I would be charging to clean a car, and it was taking me the same amount of time. So I then, and obviously we then started coming into COVID, and people didn't want their cars cleaned because they weren't going to the office, and they weren't using their cars. So those that were on a weekly clean went to a monthly clean. Those who were on like a fortnightly clean went to a as and when, and those that were on a quarterly clean just weren't interested anymore. So business dropped off a little bit, but the leather inquiries were coming in thick and fast. And after about 6 months, there was no need for me to go and clean cars, because I was just getting overwhelmed with leather inquiries.
That's good. That's really good, though. So obviously, you obviously looked around for training courses.
Yeah.
Obviously, you came to us for training, but what was it that made you come to us for training? What sort of set us apart from anybody else?
So when I made all my inquiries, your response to my email was slightly more detailed than everyone else. Then I phoned up, and I can't remember if I phoned up a couple of times. I can't remember if I spoke to you initially or whether it was Carolyn. But the conversation we had on the phone was, very informative as well. And I fired loads of questions on the phone and on email, and your answers were quite detailed, which gave me quite a lot of reassurance. And plus, I had the option doing the training with you to buy everything I needed to then go out and do the work, which sort of like sold it for me, because I didn't want to have to do a course and then come back and start spending hours sitting in front of a computer trying to find products to buy from various different companies and not knowing. And one other sort of like flip side to it as well, which sort of like sold it, is I'd used other brands, which were the brands I'd went to make inquiries when I was car detailing, and I'd never used yours. I got some of your cleaner and used it, and it did exactly what it said on the tin, and it knocked the spots off everything else. And that, and obviously the interactions I had with yourselves, and the layout of the course and the detail of what we would be getting taught, it was greater than others. So all that, with paying the extra and getting the kit, it was a done deal.
So obviously you came to do I mean, I know we had a bit of a delay with training with one thing and another with things going on because of COVID and stuff like that. Obviously, when you did the training, was it what you expected? Could we have done better?
That's a
be honest, because I don't care, because we all learn by being told what we've done wrong. So I mean, it's this is totally live, so I mean there's no editing going on here. So if you want to say something bad, it's your chance, because if there is bad, tell us, because we can learn from that, and that's what we're about as a company. We're very open and very upfront with everything.
I thought it was really informative. It did exactly everything that you said that would be covered was covered. There's, I think, for me personally, because it's one of the things two of the things I sort of like initially struggled with when I come away, and that was, I think for me, another couple of hours or half a day doing colour mixing, especially concentrating on like the various different the what I call difficult colours, like the browns, getting the right tones of browns, and looking at, and I'll try not to twitch when I say it, but the aniline, dyeing of aniline and stuff like that. But apart from that, I thought the course was pretty well structured. Starting from what is leather. This is a piece of leather, and it's not just that type of leather. You've got this, and this. If I didn't know that, then, and you was just teaching me how to do repairs and color stuff, then I could potentially go out and cause myself headache, because I would be doing the wrong thing to the wrong types of leather.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing we've learned, obviously, because so far as the things that we can sort of do on courses, it's something that we are looking at is doing like an advanced course where we do a 5-day course, funnily enough, sort of maybe coming year, And obviously, as you know, we've discussed it at great length with everybody in our private help groups that we have, which we'll get onto shortly, that we are going to be looking at doing the Analine course. And that is something that we are going to be looking at definitely doing in next year, 23. We will be doing the Analine course. As you know, we're waiting to get some items. Once we've got those, we can do them, just like we did with the upholstery course. We put on an upholstery course for everybody.
That's right, yeah.
So that everybody knew how to take furniture apart, replace the foams, and do all the springs and webbing and stuff like that, which again was a great benefit to people. And it's one of those things where we can help. We don't, just because we don't have a course listed, it doesn't mean we don't do it. If somebody wants us to put on a course, if there's enough people that can come on that course, then we will put that course on to help people. We're very, very flexible. Yes, we have the courses there on the site, but there are other ones that we can do. If people were to just ask us, do you do this? Then if there isn't enough people, we'll put it on, as you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's great getting the feedback. I mean, we like feedback. So, I mean, it's something that we are definitely looking at, is so far as the color mixing, is adding more of that into the actual training course, rather than people just, relying on the app and stuff, which obviously makes stuff a lot simpler with the scanning device. But as we've always said, it doesn't matter how good your scanning device is. I mean, if technology fails, you've got no way of scanning the leather. Then you've got to be able to learn how to do that on the road. So always doing things by eye as much as you can is always a big benefit, as well as having a scanner. So yeah, it is something definitely, that we are looking at, sort of doing something, to sort of help improve that. Obviously, you did your course, you went away, sort of 6 months later, you've given up all the detailing side, because obviously the leather has gone, a lot better than what you expected. And it's obviously got a lot more inquiries than what you thought. Was that a website that you built yourself?
So initially, I did. I did the website myself, and to be honest with you, it wasn't a spectacular website. I didn't like it, but it was the best that I could do with the sort of like the online company that I was using. But I did get some return and interest from it. Then I just wasn't happy with it. I just didn't think it looked professional enough. I didn't think it had the right content. And then obviously we had one of our catch up sort of like meetings, didn't we? And we had conversations regarding sort of like websites and that, and you'd recommended someone. So I went and approached them, and they completely did me a new website with some Google ads, and they said to me within sort of like 6 to 10 weeks, I'll start slowly noticing a difference. And that 10 days, and I was just getting emails coming in from every direction.
10 days, not 10 weeks.
10 days. Yeah, 10 days.
Wow.
10 days I started getting emails coming in thick and fast. And it's just continued ever since, to be honest with you. I've not had much of a let up from inquiries, to be fair.
So that was obviously with Lena that comes on some of the calls with us. It talks about all the social media side of things from Digital Poor over in Birmingham. So I mean, she's just a small company, family business, just like we all are. So obviously she's done the website for you, which, that's, resounding success. So, I mean, that is really, really good. I mean, because obviously it's always a worry recommending people, even though, we know Lena and she has built websites for us. It's just whether they're going to work for other people as well. And Lena's built our websites, and, they look fantastic. So, I mean, what she's done for us, and they're absolutely brilliant. But it's really good that it's worked for you as well. So, obviously, you've done the website. Have you done any other marketing?
Only through Google Ads. I did do some stuff on Instagram and Facebook, but I got nothing. I got no return from it. It was just people were seeing the ad pop up, and they were making an inquiry, but they just weren't that bothered. So I find that people that inquire as a result of the Google ad or through the website are people that are actually actively looking, and they
Get it done.
are serious enough about having it done that they want to make that contact.
Yeah. We do get that quite a fair bit from people where they say the same sort of thing about, sort of different social media platforms, that Google seems to give people that want it done, that are quite serious about having it done. Whereas the sort of social side of things, people are sort of almost saying they're just like fishing for something, for a price, and they don't really want it doing because they don't have a real great idea of what it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously we've got a lot of people that's come to us from social media. I mean, we've sold franchises of ours from social media. When we've had, obviously you're just an independent guy, and when we've sold franchises, I think every one of our franchises has been a sale through a Facebook advert, funnily enough. So it has worked for us in the past. I think it's just their algorithms have changed over the last few years, which has had a hammering on a lot of companies, and it's made it very, very difficult for companies to build momentum with advertising now. Even though Facebook is still taking the money for the adverts, it's very, very difficult with the strict algorithms that they have to actually get that momentum built up. So again, we rely upon Google, and that's what really works for us as a business as well, to be fair.
So I don't invest anything in doing Facebook or Instagram ads or anything now. I just concentrate on me Google ads, and to be honest with you, the amount I spend on a month on my Google ads is paid for by one leather repair job.
Well, that's good.
It has quite a good positive effect.
So the ROI is very good. That's pretty good. So obviously we've trained you, you've gone on your own, you've got it done. 6 months later, you've gone solely leather, had a new website, got all your Google AdWords going, had all these inquiries coming through. What about the sort of after support backup that we provide? Is it what you want? Could we do more? Could we be better? Are there things that we're doing wrong that we should stop? Tell us what you think we could do better, or if we're doing okay, or if we could improve on things, or stop doing some things.
That's a difficult question, because you run a company yourself that isn't just focusing on us technicians that you've trained. You've got your own business to run and sales to do and stuff like that. So I think the balance is pretty good at the moment. We have that closed Facebook group for all the technicians that, should they have concerns or come across something that they've not experienced before, or they're having a bit of an issue with mixing a colour, they've just lost their track with the colour mixing. That's pretty good, because generally someone will answer within a couple of minutes. There's always someone floating around on there. Maybe there's times when things might not go the way you want them to go, and you think, God, I need that top cover advice, sort of like, and sometimes you need it, as I've experienced once, sooner rather than later. So it's need to make that phone call to you to say, look, this has happened. I think this is what I need to do. I just need a bit of direction. But I think you got to get that balance, because people can't be ringing you and emailing you wanting help every 30 seconds because they've come across a stumbling block. There's a lot of wealth of experience and knowledge out on that group, and it needs to be, that's where you need to get your help from. I think if you get there and everyone is having a head scratch moment and thinking, oh God, then that's the time. If you or yourself or Carolyn have not been on there, that's the time to then drop a phone call in and say, right, I've just put this post up. can you have a quick look at it, because I'm
Sure.
banging my head against the wall. But I don't think it's right just because you come across a stumbling block that you should get straight on the phone. I know it's difficult because you're at a client's house, and you want to get it sorted, and you don't want to be sitting around twiddling thumbs. But the other side to the coin is you have to learn, and by these situations arising, that's how you learn. And you're not going to learn by just picking up the phone and saying, right, my get out of jail card is Richard or Caroline. Get me out of trouble. You've got to try and suss it out for yourself, or go on to the group and get that bit of direction, because no one can get everything right all the time, and things do happen. We're human at the end of the day. Things happen, and you're like, oh God, what do I do now? And sometimes it's a case of, right, go back to basics. I've got the technician's manual on my iPad, so if I do have a problem, right, back to basics, load the manual up, have a quick read through, and then there'll be something in there that will turn the light on, the spark, and I'll go, yes. And if that doesn't work, then I'll stick a if I need to stick a post up, I'll stick a quick post up, and someone will come on and say, oh, have you tried this, have you looked at that, and that, and then you go, oh yeah, of course. And then and that's
sometimes it's just that mental block, isn't it? That's the thing. You get so focused on trying to fix it, and you actually you get that total mental block. And you get sort of stuck of how to fix that. And I think that's the beauty with the group that we've got. It's not just people in the UK. So I mean, there are people that are there around the globe, and as you've seen with us, I mean, if I'm up in the air and I'm on an aeroplane, no matter where I'm flying, if I can get on Wi-Fi up in the air and still offer help, we will do that. Just because I'm up in the air on an aeroplane and I'm flying to America or wherever I'm flying to, Europe, wherever it is in the world, we are still there to help. And if I can get on Wi-Fi and do it, then I will, which we have done many a time in the past. This particular last trip, I couldn't get on Wi-Fi thanks to Virgin, and they gave me my $12.99 back. But their Wi-Fi wouldn't work. So a great advert for Virgin Media, who do Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi wouldn't work on the aircraft. So we got our $12.99 back. Or else we'd have been on, and we'd have still been offering help to people. And that's what we're about. It's not about just getting someone trained up and getting the money for a kit and training and products. I think the help is one of the most important factors to a business, irrespective of us running a business and stuff. At the end of the day, we always pledge to people, when you come on a course, you are trained for life, irrespective of you paying that one course fee. It is lifetime, and that's what we've always said. And we live by that and honor that to the end. It's very, very simple, and that's what we always do. And I believe that is the best way to do it. And if we can have open days, and we have these 3 weekly Zoom calls that we have with everybody. Again, we get guys on there that are from all over the world that are suffering with problems, guys that are trained by other people, that they've maybe come up against a problem where they're trying to sort of fix it, and we fix it and help people, and like Roy, for argument's sake, in Germany, he was struggling with painting. So we literally went away and made specific videos for that, which then helped everybody globally around the world. And that's what we're about as a company, is offering that help, which I think, not blowing my own trumpet, I think we pride ourselves on that support that we give everybody as being the best in the industry. And a lot of people say the support that they get from us is what makes it so valuable and so worthwhile coming back time after time.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that. It's there's nothing worse than having that feeling where you're out on your own. At least there is that Facebook, that close Facebook group, for first port of call. And generally I would most probably, I reckon, I would say 85% of the problems get resolved just on that group. I reckon. And then obviously you've got the small percentage where we have to speak to you but that's rare. Well,
Yeah,
for me, it's
yeah,
rare. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I don't know how many phone calls you get. I'm just, I'm
yeah.
making
To be fair,
an
it's
assumption.
very few. We do get some people that are frightened to ask on the group.
Mm,
And it's very difficult, especially when we're driving. Obviously, it's illegal to do it, so
yeah,
we can't do it when we're driving, and people do get frustrated. And it's like, "Oi, I messaged you 10 minutes ago," and it's like I can't do it when I'm driving
yeah,
down the motorway at 70 mile an hour. It's just
mm,
impossible to do that. So it makes it very, very difficult for us to sort of
yeah.
do that. That's what the group is there, and it's like I said to everybody. No question is a stupid question. The only
No,
question that's stupid is the one you don't
don't
ask.
know.
And that is
Yeah,
the biggest mistake people make, is not asking that question. If you ask the question, you'll get the answers. We're
yeah,
all there. We all learn every day. We don't know everything. I'm sure there's guys out there, a lot of guys out there that are far better than me. And,
mm,
we don't portray to know everything. We're very down to earth, humble people,
mm,
and we don't know everything, and we learn new stuff. And if I don't know something, then I will say to people, I don't know, and I'll find out. Just like we did
mm,
in the States recently. The guys were
yeah,
talking to me at an event I did with Chris West, and Rennie Doyle and guys were there. And there's one particular guy was asking me about this new material on boats and things. I didn't know what he meant at first, and I said I don't really know. I'll have to find out. But then it dawned on me what he was talking about, because the guys in Norway, when we went over to them, who we're going to on Monday for a trade fair and more training, they had spoke to me about this particular material that's on boats now, and it's
mm,
like a form of fabric. So I knew then what they were on about. So it's
yeah,
like, no, it can't be repaired with the standard sort of leather repair side of things, because it's a form of fabric. So if we don't know something, we're not going to try to
no,
blab our way around it and give a load of
no,
bull out there for people to
yeah,
think, well, okay, is that correct? No, we just tell you we don't know it, and we'll find
mm,
out and come back to you, because
yeah,
you can't go lying. It's very, very simple.
no, that's right. Yeah,
It just doesn't get anybody anywhere at the end of the day.
no,
So it's just, if you don't know it, you
yeah,
don't know it, but people must ask that question. That's
mm,
what the group is there for. And it's always, like you say, within a few minutes, literally a few minutes, somebody
mm,
is on a post responding
yeah,
to help somewhere in the world. And we've got guys from literally from India and Uruguay and Israel and Europe
yeah,
and America, and they're all over the world, that can help. And that is the beauty
yeah,
of the group, from people that we've trained all over the
yeah,
world, and that's the beauty of the group.
yeah, yeah. No, I totally agree. Yeah, it's reassuring to have that there.
Yeah. Obviously, with starting out, there's obviously all sorts of pitfalls with any business. Probably a difficult one, but what sort of tips could you give somebody that's starting out in the leather repair business, sort of as far as pitfalls to avoid and positives?
Pitfalls to avoid. Pitfalls to avoid. That is a tough one. So I think the first thing I would recommend anyone doing, if they're considering it, is do your research, find out who your competitors are, try and work out how busy they are,
Mm.
see what sort of work they're returning, and that, because I did mine and some of it was shocking.
Yeah.
And some posts that I looked at, I would be embarrassed to even post it if that's what I was returning.
Yeah.
So do that. You got to sort of like be in it to win it, I suppose. But
Mm.
you need to balance. Yeah. So what I did it was I had my Google ads focused on a certain area,
Yep.
and I waited to see what that return would be. And then I started looking at where I wanted to target and what sort of work I wanted to do. So I then focused on them areas as well. You've got to have a good website, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I think the biggest pitfall is creating your own.
Yeah.
Because you create it, but there's no keyword structure, there's no SEO link into it, and that's what gets you ranked in Google, and that's what gets you
Yeah.
the return in inquiries, because otherwise your website can just be lost,
Yeah.
and you won't get the inquiries that you should be getting.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I was going to say, I think sort of interrupting there, I think from our perspective, I think one of the biggest sort of pitfalls people make is they rely on social media.
Yeah.
There's so many people out there today, and I don't
Yeah.
know why they do this. And we've said to them, what's your website? I don't have one. Here's my Facebook page. What are you going to do if Facebook goes?
Yeah.
You know, it all went down last year or whenever it was,
That's
and it
right,
went
yeah.
down for a while, and people were panicking. Now, the thing is, there is still talks that, you know, with the American government and stuff like that, where they are, you know, telling Facebook they've got to up their game or they're going to take it all down completely. So, I mean, if you only have a Facebook page and that's gone, and that is your reliant source of income, suddenly your business has no assets, no structure, no income, no customer base, nothing. How are people going to find you? And I think that crucial point there, website, is a very, very, very crucial thing, because the internet isn't going to go anywhere, whereas Facebook can do. You know, so people have to bear that in mind. You know, you can't rely solely on Facebook, because you can't really do an advert through Google to get your Facebook ranking. And Facebook, the way they work is a lot more different to the algorithm, to the way Google and things work. And I think that's quite a crucial thing there, is having a structured website. But again, you get all these guys building them on like Foursquare, is it, and Wix and all this sort of thing, and they're no good. They may look okay, it may get people going, but the thing is, when you want to move that site, you can't really take it with you, because it's like starting all over again. So, and like you say, it's getting that site right, you know, getting the SEO right, getting the pages right, getting the text right, getting the look and the image right. And it does make a huge, huge difference. And I think for the sake of maybe up to £1,000 to invest, as when you're looking at starting your business, just say, right, okay, if I'm going to go to a bank, let me budget £1,000 to get a website done, which is more than enough to get it done. You know, it's a good investment. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to look at it as a very long-term asset. That's for £1,000, it's a very big asset that's going to bring you all your work in. It's far cheaper than getting a 15,000 quid van at the end of the day. You know, you can at least do this out of the back of a car. That is the beauty of this business. You can do this by putting your toolkit into the trunk of your car and doing it from the boot of your car, and getting some, you know, magnetic signs on the vehicle for now. But the website, I think, is far more important than having a great big flashy van to go out on the road with.
Yeah, definitely. So I would definitely say that you need to invest in it. It's far better to have a good website and done properly, so that it's all got the keyword structure and the SEO link to it. A Google ad is ideal, and you don't have to. People seem to think, from people I've spoken to, that they've got to throw, you know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds a month at like Google ads. Well, if you're only targeting a specific area, you don't need to spend that sort of money. So I was spending £150 a month on Google ads. So that's one lever job. And then the rest is profit. That's how I look at it. That Google ad was turning me around between 7 to 12 email inquiries and about 5-6 phone calls a day. Just on 100.
That's pretty good. So if you were to sort of look at it, then obviously, I mean, you've spent, obviously, what we're training, what is it, 750 quid or whatever. You spent maybe £2,500 on kit and stuff as you've gone along. So say you've sort of spent, with a website, maximum of £5,000 sort of thing.
About that,
possibly, say £5,000.
5-6 grand with insurances and
with insurances, website, advertising, and all that sort of thing. Over a year, what's that likely to have returned you? We didn't need to know exact figures, but thereabouts.
I would say that's most probably an eighth of what I earn. If maybe even not even much as that.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty good return, then, really.
there is potential. I mean, because
Yeah.
I'm down in the southeast, so I've got Essex and
Yeah.
I've got London to
Yeah.
to cover,
So a big
and
catchment area. Yeah.
I've got a big catchment area. Obviously, there's people in London that obviously have good jobs. They're wealthy. They've got nice leather. They've got lots of aniline, lots of exotic stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they want it looked after. And there is work to be. There's plenty of work to be had in London.
Yeah.
And it's obviously it's more to clean and protect and deal with aniline leather in a cost wise than it is dealing with pigmented leathers.
Sure. Yeah.
So there is good money to be had, and I suppose it all depends on how hard you want to work during the course of the day, how long you want to work, how long you want to go out for.
Yeah. Sure.
And what sort of lead time you want to build up with bookings. But with sort of like looking at sort of like how much I go out and what I do. I mean, some weeks I go out and I'm smashing it out all day for a long day, every day. Other weeks, I'm going out at 9 and I'm sort of like home at 4. Because I want to just depends on the jobs I've got booked in. And that. So, I mean, you could easily look at earning, anything, from 45 to 60, 60 grand a year, easily if you want to go and throw yourself at it. So, having that potential, yearly earning, putting 6 grand in the start, and
that's the thing with it. Obviously, you're talking like with that, you're talking like
dipping your toe.
And you're talking like toolboxes, which are going to last, a good sort of 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
You're talking compressors. If you look after them, they're going to be a good 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So again, spray guns, if you look after them, they're a good 10, 15 years again. So a lot of a bigger sort of costs to that, and things like a website, you're looking at a website that's £1,000. Obviously insurance you can't get away with, that's a yearly renewal thing. But things like websites, which is like £1,000, once you've got it, it's just a continual stream of income coming in. That's the thing with it. It's not like you've got to renew that every single year, and that's the beauty of the website. It's not like a renewal thing every year. So obviously you've got ongoing costs, things like advertising and insurance and things, and then obviously buying all your ancillaries and products that you need to do every job. But it's it's what we've said to people. You pay a small price to get trained, and the return is phenomenal. And the thing is, with it as well, you're not controlled by the weather like you are with vehicle detailing or anything like that. You could be out in the, in the middle of somewhere, glorious sunshine, and all of a sudden the heavens opened up and you're pissing wet through, putting it bluntly. Whereas at least with the leather side of it, if you're doing a car interior, you're still doing that car interior. We've done it in the rain. I've literally done it in the pouring rain with serious flooding, and I've still managed to complete the car, dry it, and keep the rain away with someone holding an umbrella up above me, and it keeps all the rain out. People may think, Chris, that sounds a bit Heath Robinson, but the thing is, it works, and there's no need to have expensive stuff to do this and to do that. That's maybe where a lot of people don't sort of, that are maybe competitive wise, they don't like us, because we strip things right back and do things without all the sort of jargon in the way, and that's the way we've run our business all the time. We don't put all this fancy jargon out there, and it's like all of our videos we make, it's like we struggled to get this one going purely simply because of Facebook's technology. But we don't have like fancy videos that we make spending thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds on them, because we believe we are the working family class for the working family class of people, and that's what we are doing our videos for, it so that people can understand how to do this as technicians. The public can understand it. The public can buy the DIY kits to do it and stuff and get it right. Yes, we've all had horror stories of people doing DIY things. It's because they've been, they've done it wrong. They've been misled, or they've been sold the wrong product, which doesn't help, and that's key, I think, to doing anything is again, I think it leads down to that one word again, support. You know, and that's a very important key word, is support. You know, with everything that you do, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what industry it's in. You know, you can go and buy a car. If something's wrong with it, you expect that support, don't you, to sort of back you up, to give you that confidence to get it sorted. And it doesn't matter, you know, what it is, but it's having that support there, which is very, very important. Obviously, new skills. Obviously, you came and did a course after doing your course. You know, you went and you came and did the upholstery course, and we're looking at, you know, we're now going to be doing and introducing the aniline course as well for people.
Yeah.
So obviously, we've got other courses that we do, and I mean, again, they're all sort of confined really within the home, which is obviously like your marble, granite, your wood, and your UPVC and things. And we've got a lot of people that want to come on those courses, and you know, people wanting us to sort of combine some of them into one, which we are going to be looking at as well for the new year. There's a lot of changes coming for 2023 with the way we're doing things and with what we're doing. So there's a lot of things that people, I was going to say, just watch this space. So there's going to be some massive changes coming. Obviously, learning new skills. I mean, I learn all the time. I learn every day. And I learned something today about connecting with Facebook with you guys. So yeah, it's something's not quite right there, which we need to look into. So we've done this through Zoom and then live to Facebook. A bit of a Heath Robinson way I'm doing it, but it works and it's working fine. Obviously, learning new skills. I mean, do you believe in continuing to learn new skills?
Yeah. See, I'm not one of these people that will watch a few YouTube videos and then go out and do it. You know, I'm a great believer that if you want to go out and deliver a service, then you should be trained to deliver that service. There was no difference when I did all the car valeting and the car detailing. I went and, you know, I spent, you know, a few grand, you know, being trained, you know, from the basics of how to clean a car properly to, you know, machine polishing, you know, applying coatings, applying ceramic coatings, you know, all that sort of stuff. And, you know, got a certificate, you know, I can then, you know, turn up, and if people want to, you know, turn around and say, well, you know, are you trained? Well, yeah, here's my certificate. Are you insured? Yeah, here's my insurance certificate. You know, here's my public liability. Here's my employees insurance cover. You know, it's all there for you to see. I think being trained properly, doing courses also gives you the confidence as well to be able to come away and go, right, I've actually physically, I've not watched a YouTube video and I'm now working on this customer sofa for the first time, having watched a YouTube video. I have physically done it. So I know what needs to be done. So I can now confidently do it on, you know, this sofa. And that's the same, you know, that's why I sort of like asked about the furniture course, doing the foam and that. Because I didn't want, I was getting quite a few inquiries, and I didn't want to watch a YouTube video and then go out and do it, you know. So obviously, you know, doing that course, you know, that's added learning. By doing that, obviously, you've trained me how to do it. I've got to know exactly what tools I need to use. You know, you've suggested, you know, what the best tools are, where to get them from. And, you know, that's what I've done. And you know, that's now a service I add. And
and another income stream coming in. You know,
another income stream, especially when you go out and do, you know, you turn up to someone's house and, you know, that you're doing, you know, some colour loss repairs on their sofa, and, you know, you make a comment about how there's no sort of like, no support in the seat base and that, and they're like, oh yeah, well, I need to get that done, but I don't know who to, I don't know anyone that can do it. Well, madam, I can do it for you. I've got the tools, I've got the equipment in the van, I've even got some phone with me. If you want me to do it, I'll do it for you now. And as I'm already here, it'd be slightly cheaper than if I come back and do it next week. So I'll do it while I'm here. Job done. And they're like blown away. They're like, oh my God, you can do that as well.
Well, and well, that's it. It's all added. again, it's added benefits. And I mean, it's again,
Yeah.
what was the course? 250, 275, something like that. 200,
Yeah,
was it
something like that,
275 quid plus VAT or something?
Yeah.
So again, you can maybe do like 1 or 2 jobs and you got your money back for the course as well.
Yeah.
Again, and then you got the rest of the year to do, it's like 2 days, 2 days in 1 week, you got your money back, and you got another 3 days to earn, double again, sort of thing. It's the potential is there to earn the money if, like you say, people are prepared to get off the backsides and get out there and earn it. And that's, and I think that's the big sort of thing there. I mean, I'm a great believer in trying to elevate the whole industry and lift the whole industry and help everybody as much as I possibly can. And it's something that I've always strived to do, is to help people with as much information as possible. And it's about elevating and lifting that industry. And if I've seen somebody that is struggling, then I will help them, irrespective of whose products they use. I can't obviously give them advice how to use another product if I haven't used it. And I obviously don't go using my competitors' products because it doesn't interest me. I use my own. So I can't help somebody that's using somebody else's products, but I can give them advice of how to do the job and hope that the products will do what I'm telling them to do, as to how to do it. And, and that's what it's all about. But I think, again, learning, I mean, we never stop learning, because I mean, technologies change, rules, laws and regulations change as well. So I mean, that's obviously something that we have to keep at the forefront of to help people. And I think that's the biggest part of it, is that continued learning process. And talking about insurance, when you mentioned insurances, I mean, I think that was one of our group sessions that we had, where we had John on. Jonathan came on and was talking to everybody about the insurances and things, and it was quite surprising. I mean, we learned something there. And I mean, a lot of people probably don't realize this either. And I didn't know this at all, even after all these years of being in business and knowing Jonathan. But I didn't realize that if you have even somebody work for you part-time and they only do 1 hour a year, you've still got to have employee liability insurance, because they are basically an employee. Even if they do 1 hour a year,
that's it,
and they're not even on your payroll, they're even self-employed, 1 hour working for you, you have to have employee liability insurance. I never knew that was actually law in England. And that's a mistake I would imagine thousands of companies out there make. Thousands of companies. And just that one phone, that one Zoom call that we had there, I mean, I learned a great deal from that phone call with Jonathan. We're talking about insurances that people should have. And I think a lot of people learned from it as well. A lot of people learned.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was well worth it. So I mean, it's what brings that added value to it. And I mean, it's like, we know you had that problem you were talking about, and it's like obviously we've got the technicians in the UK, with that one particular issue that you had, that sort of made you almost to the point where it's like, I'm going to quit and I want to dig this huge hole and bury myself. And we said, look, let's get this sorted. How did it get sorted? It wasn't just us. I mean, I'm not going to hold my hand up here and say, we helped save you here, because it wasn't just me. There was other people that really helped, that helped a hell of a lot more than I did. That just stepped up and said, let's get this sorted.
So I can't, the group was the savior, because it obviously things were a little bit wrong. And I did think to myself, that's it, I'm done, for a little while. But then I thought, no, I've got to get this sorted. Obviously I spoke to you, and that obviously put it up on the group, which was embarrassing to say the least at the time. I think I'm going to post this and I'm going to look a complete tool. But quite rightly, as all those that commented said, these things happen. It's how you learn, and it was a massive learning curve. And then John Morrow down in where's he, down Dorset way, isn't he?
Bristol, Bristol, somewhere like that.
There, somewhere down there. That he does all the carpet cleaning and that. He was, straight away, right, okay. Saturday, I'll come up. I'll meet at address, because it was literally the same distance from me to the client's address as it was for him. He said, I will come up, I will meet you, and I will help you get it all sorted. And he did help me with some cleaning and sorted some stuff out. And He was an absolute godsend, you know,
Yeah,
and
absolutely. Yeah. John
I,
was a
I
saviour.
couldn't thank him enough.
Yeah.
I offered to pay for his, you know, day's labour, his
Yeah.
you know, the you know, use of equipment, chemicals, everything. He wasn't interested. He was like,
Yeah.
I'm doing you a favour, you know, because, you know, no doubt if I need it, you know, you'll help me, which, you know, I
Yeah.
would, without, you know,
Absolutely.
without
Yeah.
being having to ask. But the one thing this mistake happened. I spoke to the client, and instead of trying to bat it off and spin it around to make it their problem, I put my hands up and I went, yeah,
Mm.
look, I'm really sorry. This has not quite gone right, but I am going to sort it out for you. Right. And I
Yeah.
will leave here when it is sorted. Okay.
Yeah.
And when I left, the lady was in tears of joy
Yeah.
because I'd sorted it all out. And she turned around and said that despite what happened,
Sure.
you provided me the best experience and service that I've ever experienced. And she said,
Yeah.
I will not be able to recommend you highly enough.
Yeah.
After I
And
left.
that's what it's all about. Yeah. And
Yeah.
and I think that's what it is. It's owning up to your problems, you
Yeah.
know, fixing it, sorting it, and making sure that client is happy. And that's exactly what, you know, we said to do, and that's exactly what you did. You did
Yeah.
exactly that, you know, and hat off to you, because you're here today to tell the story. And
Yeah.
the thing is, that now helps us to help others as well, and you can help everybody in the group because of that. So that helps an enormous amount of people. So, you know, everybody learns from that, and I think that's the beauty of the group as well, is everybody works together as one, which is what I've always
Yeah.
said. We're not here as, you know, we're not here as several hundred people. We're one. We're
Yeah.
one group. We're one. We're one. We help each other. End of.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you are in the world, we help. And that's what the group is all about. And that's what our services are about, with the backup that we provide, with the training and the services that we provide. And that's why we've set the accreditation system up, and, you know, which is coming into play shortly as well, you know, and that's why that's there. And, you know, there isn't, you know, our accreditation system is, you know, once it launches, people will see what that's about, you know, and it's a phenomenal system where you become accredited with us. You know, you don't just, like, I wear the accredited badge. Other guys will wear the approved badges, which after a period of time, they can become accredited. And when they're accredited, if there's a problem, we go out and fix that problem free of charge. So it's almost like having this mini insurance package, you know. And but the thing is, we won't have these problems because we train people right in the first place, and we give them the support that they need to make sure these problems never arise. But it is having that support system there. And there's no company that I know of, competitor-wise, that would say to you, Dave, I'm going to drive 250 miles and I'm going to come and fix that car bolster that the customers complained about because they've complained to us. We're going to come and fix that free of charge for you and for your client. There's no other company out there with the confidence to put their money where their mouth is to say that for their products and their brand.
Yeah.
And you're not a franchise, you're just a trained technician. You know, if that was a franchise, we wouldn't think twice about it. But you are a trained technician. And, you know, once we've trained you, you wouldn't expect that level of support. But that's what we give as a company for our, you know, for our accredited system in the UK. So and I think it's just about learning new tricks and tips and just helping people grow. And I think that's what the beauty of the, you know, the training and the group is. And it's just stuff like this. It's getting to know people, and, you know, with like this interview, and it's people get to see the different side of you, and, you know, and how we do things and stuff like that. And you know, and it just sort of helps people put their mind at rest because they see the real people. They get to understand people. They know that you're going to stand by and honor things, and that's really what it's all about. So it's been a good interview, to be fair.
Yeah. So one thing I'd want to say is that, because obviously we've discussed a lot about the, you know, pitfalls and things that can go wrong, but in the grand scheme of things, in comparison to, you know, carrying out and doing general level work, they're minor, and
absolutely,
not that often. You know, majority of the time, you know, most of the time, going out doing leather repairs it's good. It's fun. You get your easy jobs and you get your big jobs that are a challenge.
Yeah.
So my having done your course, my first job was to recolor a complete suite. That was a 3-seater, a 2-seater, 2 single armchairs, and a footstool. That was my first job, having done the course. And my wife was like, "Don't you think you ought to do a few little jobs first?" I'm like, "But that's the inquiry that comes in, and I need the money."
Yeah, that's I've got to do it.
Back what I've just spent, and it was, don't get me wrong, it was the first job, and it was stressful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Absolutely stressful, and I was at it all week, long slog. Every day for the whole week trying to get this done. And I did it, and it was amazing. I walked away absolutely thinking, God, this is it. This is this is the direction we're going in. And and then obviously a few years have passed now, and I wouldn't going and recoloring a chair, I wouldn't even, it wouldn't phase me. It wouldn't be like, it'd be no different to going and doing a car bolster. It's just a bigger car bolster.
Exactly. Yeah, I think a lot of it where, again, it's like, I think where people sort of start to get the nerves get the better of them, and I think. When they start to overthink the problem, that's when things start to go wrong, because they start to think what can go wrong, and they start to focus on what can go wrong rather than focusing on getting it right. And I think that is quite a big thing that people need to look at. I did a video this morning actually about focusing on the right things, and you can't change what's gone on in the past. Change the future. You can change the future. Everything that's going to happen to you in the future, your course of things that's going to happen, you can change that future of how you want your business to be, but you can't change what's gone on. There's no point focusing on the past. You can't change that at all. So I think what a lot of people focus on is when they first start out is, am I going to screw up this first job? Is this going to go wrong? Am I going to get this right? That's all they're thinking about. Don't think about any of that. Think about how it's going to look. It's going to look superb. Because then it relaxes you, it puts your mind at rest, and it makes the whole process so much more easier and simpler to do. Because if you start thinking it's difficult, it will be bloody difficult. And it's like you say, we've spoken about the negative side of things as well. And, the negative side of things are minor compared to the positives. And yes, we still get stuff that go wrong today. And, we're not going to admit that. We get jobs where customers aren't happy, but we fix them straight away, or we just give them their money back and then fix the problem, and that's what it's all about. And it's about getting that problem fixed, resolved and sorted. And it's that guarantee that you give. And, we maybe get one job in several hundred that go wrong, and it happens. Crap happens, it's life, we're bloody human at the end of the day. And it happens, machines go wrong, machines make cock-ups. We're all human. And I think that's the thing with it is, yes, you get, there are a lot of jobs that are really, really good. And then you get that one job that's a pain in the ass. But that's reality. It doesn't matter what it is. You could be a photographer and have the most glorious weather. You come round to the best wedding of the year and it pisses with rain. You're up against it, aren't you? And it's like the wedding of the year, the one that's going to put you right up above everybody else, and all of a sudden the heavens open and it's like, shit, I didn't prepare for this. It didn't forecast rain today, and that's where it goes wrong. But you've got to get on with it and deal with it, and that's unfortunately the good with the bad. And you get it with every job. It doesn't matter what profession you're in, you'll get good with the bad. I'm sure you had it with your engineering job. You'd have had some things where computers just wouldn't sync with other computers, and it was a bloody nightmare. These things happen. But so I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope everybody else has enjoyed it. And, if anybody does have any questions, where we are, inbox us. Whether there's people asking questions on here now, I don't know, because I can't see them because I'm looking at Zoom rather than my Facebook post, because Facebook is behind what we're saying. If they need to contact you for work, how do they get hold of you, Dave?
They can Google me, Supreme Leather Restorations. So it's www.supremeleatherrestorations.co.uk. So they can obviously go on the website, do a web form. Obviously, everyone takes their pictures in 12 megapixels, so I only ever get one picture. So I can use the web form, or they can email me directly at help@supremeleatherrestorations.co.uk, or give me a phone call on 07562 45 55 50. And if I don't obviously cover the area, and I do know of someone that does cover the area they're in, then I'll obviously refer them accordingly.
Yeah, obviously with the pictures and things, I was going to say with that side, but obviously emails is far better. I mean, a lot of people do send pictures through on Facebook, but unfortunately Facebook, because I mean their servers would have to be colossal with the amount of users that's on there daily and the amount of data that's being transferred. So obviously Facebook really pixelate pictures considerably, making it very, very difficult for us to see them. And it's one of the reasons why I think some people get frustrated with this, because we're like, we can't give a quote on here, please email them through. It's not professional to give a quote via Facebook. And I would be concerned if someone did do that, because you can't see the pictures properly. That's why email works better. So I mean, anybody that ever wants to send us a quote or get Dave to give you a quote, please guys, send it through on email. We have a WhatsApp system as well. You can WhatsApp the pictures through. Dave will have a WhatsApp system as well. I'm absolutely sure of it. You can always ask him about that. But email them through. They're far, far better. And it just makes everybody's life so much easier, because we get it in full quality. That doesn't mean it's going to make the price any different, you know, just because we can see the picture better. It actually, in some cases, it probably makes it cheaper, because sometimes when they're distorted, it makes the damage look worse than what it really is. So I mean, getting them through on email is a real huge bonus to everybody. It's you know, and it helps all of us to, you know, get things done a lot quicker and a lot better for you.
Definitely.
So so thank you very much, Dave. It's been much appreciated.
Right. My pleasure. Thank you.
No problem. We appreciate it very much, and we'll catch you on our next Zoom call, no doubt.
Yeah, indeed.
No problem. Cheers,
Take
Dave.
care.
Thank you very much.
See ya.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.